Hi, my name is Julie Zeitler and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. And a little bit of history leading up to my transformation. I got married about 20 years ago in 1999. My husband joined the Navy and it took us 2 years to have our first baby. And 2 weeks before he was born, my husband left for a 6-month deployment. And that is probably when my depression and anxiety really kicked in adulthood. He did not meet a son for the first 5 months of his life, and that was really hard. But a lot of people go through that, so it was something to just deal with. And then over the next decade, we had miscarriage after miscarriage, and my depression just spiraled, and I gained weight, so much weight, because I felt like I could not do something very basic and natural that I was put on this earth to do. I couldn't even have babies right, and I internalized that and felt like such a failure and let that really define me, and I just spiraled over and over with depression. And 5 years ago we did IVF, and I got pregnant and miscarried, and then we did IVF again and I got pregnant with twins. And 6 months in, not 6 months in, started very early, but I developed preeclampsia, and there was nothing they could do because I wasn't far enough along. And at 25 weeks and 6 days, I had to go to the hospital, and my kids were born 10 hours later by emergency C-section because my kidneys and liver were failing, and they were risking losing me as well as my babies. And you would think that that would have been enough to really kick me into gear, into losing weight and taking better care of myself, but nope, it didn't. I did not really hit rock bottom until 2 years later. I woke up one morning and looked in the mirror and just sobbed. I had never felt so awful in my entire life. And I had hit my highest weight at 243. Everything hurt. I was using alcohol and painkillers to numb my emotional pain, my physical pain. I was stressed out all the time, having 2-year-old twins, one of which, my son, was shortly thereafter diagnosed with autism, and he is nonverbal, so that added some stress. And we have a 17-year-old now who is looking into going into college. So just all of this culminated to that one day where I looked in the mirror and just knew that something had to change. I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. And so I didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I knew that something had to change, because I couldn't go on the way that I was. I couldn't do that for my kids. I couldn't do that for my husband. But most of all, I couldn't do it for me. Everybody's why, is so noble that they just want to change for their kids or their family. And I do, and I did. But what I thought about that day when I looked in the mirror was, it was me when I was 5, 6, 10 years old, growing up believing that I was going to do something great with my life. Great. I always felt like there was something big planned for me. And I don't know why. I was brought up in a very modest home with a construction worker father and a stay-at-home mom. Like, there was nothing in my background that would indicate that I was going to be anything great. But there was this voice in me that just said I was going to. And over the last 20 years, I lost that. I lost myself. I defined myself with the infertility and the depression, the anxiety, not feeling like I belong or fit anywhere, feeling lonely in a room full of people and not understanding why. And so my journey began 2 years ago, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was going to do it. I was not going to quit. So I did start losing weight by just portion control, started moving more, and dropped about 30 pounds, and started my Instagram account solely for my weight loss journey, to document and for accountability for myself. And I discovered Aaron Lohman on Instagram, and first came in contact with First Form. He was showing some of the products, and I had no clue what it was, and started doing a little research, and come to find out they're in my backyard. Like, literally, I live 4 minutes from headquarters, and I had never heard of this company before. And the more I researched, the more this idea that they were displaying, this culture, just really appealed to me. And it came at a time that I needed it more than anything. I was 3-4 months into my journey, and it was lonely. It was very lonely because I didn't tell anyone that I was trying to lose weight or take better care of myself, because I didn't want to fail again and have that be known. I just wanted to surprise myself and everyone. I just kept everything to myself. Plus, no one wants to hear about your weight loss journey. No one wants to hear how you're dieting and exercising. You're not going to eat this, you're not going to eat that. People start getting weird and defensive, and no one cares. So I kept it to myself, and I was down 50 pounds whenever I found out about the MyTransphormation challenge, and found Chris through Aaron Lohman, and I asked him if I could join his team, Team Rowan Fitness. And so a year ago in January, I joined Chris's team for the MyTransphormation challenge, and the last year changed my life. It really did. I had started on my path to changing my life, but the last year I have made friends. I have found what feels like family. It's like-minded people going through the same thing. Like, we might have different goals and different backgrounds, but we're so similar. And that was so huge for me, to feel like I fit somewhere. I can't thank First Form or Chris enough for the love, the support. It's unbelievable. And I would not be where I'm at today without them. I think I would still be struggling, because I was so determined to change. But I would not have the results that I do without the guidance and support of Chris. The workouts that are laid out, the products, like, everything about it, everything about this last year has just been a game changer for me. And the goals that I've set for this year are so big that they scare me. Every time I start to think about them, they scare me so much. But I know that they're possible. I know that succeeding is now possible. And I owe it to that little girl, 5, 6, 10 years old, growing up, who knew I was going to do something great. She is my why, truly. So thank you. Thank you.